Hello, children. Good morning. Hope you are all safe and fine. Today, we are going to start with a new chapter in biology, the crop production and management. Let us go through the introduction today and then know about agricultural practices. Okay, and also the different kinds of crops that are cultivated in different seasons, how they call those seasons name, right? Now we all are we all are heterotrophic. What do you mean by heterotrophic? We cannot prepare our own food as in plants. We depend on other organisms for food, including we depend on plants as well, right? um, so these plants, they are very very unique. They are completely autotrophic and they produce their food with the help of sunlight. And the process of preparing food by the process of sunlight is known as photosynthesis. They require water, then they require soil, and they require sunlight, and with the help of the chlorophyll they prepare the food. Am I right? So all the animals are dependent on these plants. We directly and indirectly depend on these plants. And not only they don't give only food, they also purify the air. These plants purify the air. They give they take in carbon dioxide and they give out oxygen. They purify air as well. So plants are very very important. And so in agriculture, why they are bringing this syllabus, this lesson in this subject? Because we need population is large. We require food, not only for human beings, not even for the animals. So there should be a proper management to cultivate and harvest food. Okay, cultivate and harvest food. So animals and humans cannot make their own food. They have to depend on directly or indirectly only on plants. Even for air, they know plants should be there. Thus, humans and animals are directly or indirectly dependent on plants. Those who eat non-vegetarian food, for example, chicken or sheep or goat, anything, right? For them, they require what? They require plants. If they take in proper food only, they'll be very healthy. Then we can take that. So we directly or indirectly depend on these plants. Even carnivorous animals, they require these herbivorous animals. When these herbivorous animals will survive, if the plants are there, they can take their food and they'll be healthy. So the carnivores can hunt them, then they can eat their prey. So they human beings, all the animals, they are directly or indirectly dependent on these plants. Energy from the food is used by the organisms for carrying out their various body functions. Plants and animals are the main source of food for all the organisms. In order to provide food for a larger population, what they have to do, government, what they have to do, they have to concentrate in mass production. So for mass production, what is required? Proper planning is required. And after planning, that should be managed in a proper way. Okay, and the distribution of food is also needed. But farmers, they are facing so much of challenges like climatic crisis, and sometimes pests will attack the crops. So farmers, they are facing a huge challenge of producing sufficient crops to meet the growing demand while maintaining the and if there's any infection in the plants, there won't be any proper quality, and the quantity of the product also will be reduced. Okay, so agricultural colleges, agricultural research institutions are developing new technologies to help the farmers so that they can increase the productivity both in terms of quality and quantity. So we are going to learn how they are categorizing and how they are practicing agriculture for mass production with proper planning and management. Let us see this. Now, agricultural practices. Agriculture has always been the backbone of our country's economy. Ever since the Green Revolution, Tamil Pasumai Purachi, Green Revolution, so that they concentrated to produce food for the large population. So that brought about this Green Revolution. What is White Revolution? Milk products, the production of milk in large quantities. Then Silver Revolution, all sort of fishes, right, for food. So we have been cultivating different types of crops to cater the needs of the increasing demand of the people. In our country, there are three categories of crops are grown here. Three categories of crops are grown: Kharif crops, Rabi crops, and Zaid crops. Okay, Kharif crops, Rabi crops, and Zaid crops. So Kharif crops, this require water. So the crops which are sown in the rainy season from June to September are called as Kharif crops. So paddy, maize, soya bean, groundnut, and cotton are Kharif crops. Okay. Then Rabi crops. Rabi crops, they are grown in the winter season. They don't require much of water. So the temperature should be in the particular condition where they can grow. For example, wheat, gram, and pea, mustard, linseed, you get they cultivate during the month of October to March. You get this peas during this season. It will be the price of that peas will be less. Okay, even mocha paruppu. Okay, that bean, that is also grown during the season, and this in these months the cost of this products will be low because they'll be able to harvest more during this season. Then Zaid crops, which are grown in summer season are called as Zaid crops. Muskmelon, watermelon, and cucumber are examples of Zaid crops. So we get these things, muskmelon, watermelon, and cucumber, in these summer season, in the summer season. Okay, so agriculture is a great economy of our country, and during the Green Revolution, they concentrated in cultivating different types of crops for large population to cater the needs of the population, the people in our country. The following according to the seasons, they cultivated three kinds of crops were cultivated. What are they? Kharif crops, Rabi crops, and Zaid crops. Do you understand? Kharif crops, they are grown in the rainy season between June to September, such as paddy, maize, soya bean, groundnut, cotton, and which are called as Kharif crops. Rabi crops, the crops which are grown in winter season, in between October to March. Example: wheat, gram, pea, mustard, linseed. Zaid crops, summer crops, where they get all the muskmelon, watermelon, and cucumber. Okay. Now, according to utility, crops are classified below. So, how they classify the food crops? Paddy and maize, they are cultivated for human consumption. Paddy and maize are cultivated for human consumption. Fodder crops, these are useful for livestock and fodder crops. Fodder means which are utilized for the cattle. Okay, these are useful for livestock consumption. The goat, then buffalo, cow, all these things will eat the fodder crops. For example, sorghum and millets. Fiber crops, these crops are used for cordage and textile. So jute, they take jute, linen materials, which are very costly. They take from the plants only. They take the fiber from the plants and they make the clothing. So these crops are used for cottage and textile. Example, cotton and hemp. Oil crops are useful in large scale for consumption or for the purpose of cooking and as well as industrial purposes. Groundnut and sesame. Okay, ornamental crops, and these are utilized for landscape for beauty, for to admire nature. They just have this ornamental crop. So what are the different kinds of crops which are grown? How they classify? Food crops, fodder crops, fiber crops, oil crops, and ornamental crops. Let me come again. Food crops, fodder crops, fiber crops, oil crops, and ornamental crops. And no, our country is the largest producer of bananas, it seems. Okay, and mangoes in the world. It is also the second largest producer of wheat and rice. North Indians, their staple food is wheat. South Indians, their staple food is rice. Am I right? Now mention few example for Kharif, Rabi and Zaid crops. You can write it on in the boxes, and no, you can check it, right? Now, basic practices of crop production. What are basic practices of crop production? What they do when you just wanted to plant a sow a seed, what you do? Just like that, you in your garden you wanted to just sow a seed. What you will do? You will be plowing the land. Plowing in the sense you'll be tilling it. Am I right? You loosen the soil. That's called as loosening the soil is called as in a big area, that's called as plowing. They use plower, but you use just a what do you call that as? I'm not getting the shovel. You use shovel, yes, to lose the soil in a small area. But for a large area, they use tractor for plowing to loosen the soil. Then they'll sow it. They'll apply fertilizer so that the plants will be able to grow healthier. Then harvest and seed storage. All these activities collectively have an effect on the yield of crops. Do you understand? So, what are different practices of crop production? Different activities in crop production are plowing, loosening the soil, sowing the seeds, then applying fertilizers so that the plant will grow healthy. It might be natural fertilizer or artificial fertilizer. Then after the proper growth of the plant, harvesting the products, and then again you have to store it in a proper area, otherwise it will be getting spoiled. Recently you would have watched in the TV that many of the rice which farmers had harvested were getting wet near the storage areas as the government couldn't take proper action to store it properly, and in the rain most of the harvested rice got spoiled. Do you understand? So storage should be done in a proper way. Now, soil preparation. The most important aspect in agricultural process is to loosen the topsoil. The loosened soil helps in the growth of earthworm. So when you loosen the soil, the water will be able to seep inside, and as well as the organisms which are there inside the soil, such as earthworm, will be able to move freely. And also I told even the other organisms, these organisms add. So if the soil is loosened, a proper oxygen supply will be there inside, in between the soil particles, so the organisms will be able to survive even. So these organisms add humus to the soil and are friendly to farmers. So earthworms are friends of farmers. Plants absorb water, minerals, nutrients and air from the soil through their roots. So if the soil is loose only, they will be able to absorb proper water, minerals, nutrients and also the oxygen from the soil through roots. Hence, it is essential to prepare the soil in a proper way before starting the cultivation practice. The soil preparation methods are given below. Ploughing. First one is ploughing. Ploughing or tilling is a process of loosening and turning the soil up and down. Can you see this? So using a pair of bull, they with the help of plougher they are loosening the soil. Here a tractor is utilized to loosen the soil, or if it is a small garden we can use the tiller or shovel to loosen the soil. So that the soil turning it will be help to turn the soil up and down to facilitate the availability of nutrients in the root zone of the cultivating crop. Not only that, the oxygen will be able to the movement of air will be there, and also all the microorganisms will be able to, even the earthworm will be able to survive there. The following are the important agricultural implements generally used in the field preparation. Plough. First is ploughing. Plough is mainly used for hoe. This is a hoe. Okay. Then cultivator. So plough is mainly used for tilling the soil to add fertilizers to the crop, and they also remove weeds and other waste materials from the field. And they also turn the soil. So plougher is mainly used to loosen the soil, and for proper air there, and also the if you add any fertilizers they'll mix up with the soil properly, and to remove, and also it helps in removing the weeds and other waste, maybe weeds, unwanted plants. What do you mean by weeds? Unwanted plants and other waste materials from the field. And also it turns the soil. A plough is made, how they make the plough? The plougher is made out of wood and is drawn by a pair of bulls or horses. It contains a strong and a sharp triangular iron strip known as plowshare. The main part of the plough is a long log of wood which is called plough or plough shaft. Okay, so the main part of the plough, it contains a strong and a sharp triangular iron strip known as plowshare. Can you see? Okay, plowshare. The main part of the plough is a log of wood which is called plough shaft. The other end is attached to the beam which is placed with the bull's neck. So can you see? It's placed with the bull's neck. Can you see this? Yes. Now hoe. It is a simple tool which is used to till the land. Can you see? This is a hoe. Till the land, remove weeds and dig up soil. It has a long wooden rod with a bent iron plate at one end. The other end may be attached to an animal. Now, cultivator. Cultivators are driven by tractor. So this is a cultivator. It's also a sort of plougher only, so to tiller only. So it is attached to the tractor. Cultivators also kill weeds and dig up unwanted vegetation available in the field. Nowadays, ploughing is, before only they used to have the bull or oxen to just plough the field. But nowadays they use the cultivators which are driven by the tractors to plough the land. Nowadays, ploughing is done by tractor-driven cultivator. The use of cultivator saves labor and time. Leveling. Once the field is ploughed, the topmost soil is quite loose. The leveling of soil is done with an implement called the leveler, which is a heavy wooden or iron plank. Leveling of the field also helps in uniform distribution of water during irrigation. So leveling, once the field is plowed, the topsoil is quite loose. Then they used to level the soil. It will be in up and down. So the leveling of soil is done with an implement called as leveler, which is a heavy wooden or iron plank, Leveling of the field also help in the uniform distribution of water during irrigation. Can you see? They have not given any leveler here. I'll just tell you. I'll show you the picture. So be leveling. I'll stop with this, children. So today we have learnt what is photosynthesis, why they are giving importance for the crop production, because they have to feed a large population, and how the agricultural farmers are struggling to fulfill the demands of the people, and what are the different kinds of crops. See, and how they call those seasons and seasonal crops, like kharif crops, rabi crops, and zaid crops, and then how they classify the crops: uh, food crops, fodder crops, fiber crops, oil crops, ornamental crops. And also we learned that our country is the largest producer of bananas and mangoes in the world, and also it is the second largest producer of wheat and rice. And then basic practices of crop production, how they prepare the soil, and we learned ploughing. And ploughing is done with various resources like oxen and plower, then hoe and cultivator. And then we also learned what is leveling. After the ploughing is made, they used to level the soil, and that is easy to sow the soil, and also water is uniformly distributed throughout for the plants. Okay, then I'll just finish off this also. Basal manuring. Manuring is adding fertilizer. It might be natural fertilizer, or that is just like vermicompost, or adding urea, something like that. Manure contains many nutrients required for the growth of crop plants. To increase the fertility of the soil, we need to add manure to the soil even before sowing, and because it gets properly incorporated. Before sowing itself, they used to add the fertilizer, that is manure. They'll be adding manure to it. Application of green manure or farmyard manure will always enhance the growth and yield of crops. So they have to, after leveling it, they used to mix the manure in the soil, so that the soil will be enhanced with nutrients, so that the plants will be able to get proper nutrients while growing. So it increases the fertility of the soil if they are adding the manure. Hope you have understood, children. If you have any doubts, please ask me or just text me in the WhatsApp. Thank you, children.